What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another challenge to ignite change. Month of November. Yes, we are almost done with this year, and we've come up with a lot of tools, perspectives to help you change your life. And realize that any change is going to be incremental as long as you're winning the war and trying to win as many battles as possible. Some days you'll wake up, some days you'll be more motivated to go do that task that you need to do. Other days you will not. Sometimes you'll slide, but you need to have the integrity, you need to have the discipline to pick it back up and start running with it again and understand where it needs to be corrected. This is why having that feedback loop is so important. But being said, we have 2 more months left. There's still a lot of different things we can change. You can keep going with different things that you want to implement in your life every single day, every single month by just implementing one thing. So if you started with this video series way back in January and continue to build upon those different tools and perspectives that you're gaining along the way, you'll see the difference, and it'll be a dramatic difference. So being said, now we have 2 months left. Now we are in November, and now with all the knowledge that you've obtained, all the different skills that you've been implementing to help you become more curious, to help you expand your perspective, what I need you to do in the month of November is to learn to start taking risk. You have to realize that to do things in your life, you have to take risks. To get to where you want to in life, you have to expose yourself to some sort of risk. Now, I'm not saying you need to go out there and quit your job and just go start up your business from scratch, do anything like that. What I'm ultimately saying here is that what you need to do is do some form of calculated risk and realize, well, maybe I should actually pay a little bit more money on this particular class session so that I can achieve whatever that thing is. Or maybe I need to buy this asset or learn about this asset, put the money towards it and the down payment for a house, maybe get a rental income property, maybe look at other different things, because you need to realize that without some sort of risk, playing it safe, you're not going to get the results that you want. A lot of times we're fed that we can get these big results from playing it safe. And in my experience, when I've always played it safe, I have never achieved the things that I've wanted. It's always me going out and taking some sort of risk, whether that's risk in a relationship, losing a relationship, whether that is risk in a job, losing a job, whether that's risk in business, losing the business, whatever the case is. You have to understand that if you're not putting it out there, you're not going to obtain great strides, obtain the things that you really want, the things that you really desire, and you have to understand that that comes with risk. But there is calculated risk, there is researching, preparation, which is a lot of different things I talk about, and doing that to be able to achieve the things that you want. And being said, this month I want you to look at what you can take a risk at. A risk in, is it losing a relationship to obtain something more? Is it losing a job, right? Putting risk, you need to put risk on the table. And this is the biggest thing, is we don't want to spend the amount of money because we're afraid, well, what else could that money buy me, as opposed to what can I obtain with this money? Yes, there's going to be times when you may lose money on particular things or lose a relationship for whatever particular reason, but you have to understand what is the risk to reward. And so you have to calculate about what you are essentially risking to gain. And a lot of times what we're risking isn't nowhere near as much as we could gain, or nonetheless we'll still learn something from that experience, which is also extremely important, because if you're not taking the risk, you will not learn. If you're not taking the risk, you will not obtain the things that you want. And so living a life where you are safe, you're living in a false sense of security, because what you end up doing is you daydream more about the things you don't have. You daydream more about the relationships, the job, or the business, or the asset, or whatever the case is. You dream about it as opposed to actually obtaining it. And the only way you obtain it is by taking risk and doing things to expand your horizon, to go out there and achieve the things that you want, to be your ultimate self. And that's what this whole challenge has been about, is to make yourself a better person. And through this whole experience, you should be learning, you should have been curious, you should have been adding different things in your life, different perspectives, learning how to come at things, problem solve with a cool head, and realize that risk is okay. I'm okay with uncertainty. I'm going to go out and start taking risk. Again, make it calculated. I don't want you guys, again, going out and doing anything crazy, but what I want you to do is make sure that you are living your best life. And to be able to do that, you have to take risk. And with risk comes uncertainty. We have to be okay with uncertainty, because if nothing else happens, we will have a lesson from it. And it also exposes you to the fact that you're going outside your boundaries and you're pushing that limit, and that's where you're going to find your growth. This is where you're going to grow the most, taking risk and expanding that comfort zone and getting out there. So this month, focus on taking risk, calculated risk, and go out and ignite that change.